Welcome to an introduction to contingency tables. In this video, we will focus on understanding two-way tables and their applications. Let's get started. A contingency table, also known as a two-way table, is used to organize data involving two categorical variables. It displays the relationship between the variables using a matrix format. Let's take a look at an example. This contingency table summarizes a survey of 100 people about their pet ownership, whether they owned a cat or dog, and living environment, whether they lived in a house or an apartment. Down the left column, you will see the pet ownership categories: dog owner, cat owner, and then a total. Going across the top row of the table, you will see responses for the living environment, whether they lived in a house, an apartment, and then another total column. I've included a copy of this table in the video description below. Let's take a look at how we read a contingency table. The values inside the table represent specific category combinations. Looking at the first number, which is located in the second row, second column, we see 43 people who owned a dog and lived in a house. Continuing through the inside of the table, we would see that 9 people owned a dog and lived in an apartment, 44 people owned a cat and lived in a house, and 4 people owned a cat but lived in an apartment. So the inside of the table shows us how the two variables are related. The row totals, which are located in the last column, show the total for each row category. In this case, we can see that 52 people owned a dog in total, 48 people owned a cat in total. These values are often called marginal totals. They give us the total for one variable. The column totals, which are located in the bottom row, show the total for each column category. So in this case, we can see that 87 people in the survey live in a house and 13 people lived in an apartment. The column totals are also known as marginal totals. They give us the total for one variable in the table. The grand total, which is located in the bottom right cell, represents the total number of surveyed individuals, in this case 100 people. You should also notice that if we add the row totals and the column totals together, either way, we would get 100. Let's conclude this video by looking at why we would use contingency tables. First, they help us organize and summarize categorical data. They allow us to identify relationships between two variables. They help provide a foundation for probability calculations and statistical analysis, and they're commonly used in surveys, research studies, and data analysis. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.